somebody's up. So I'll do the recap again. So essentially, the thought was that last night, couple of my kids asked me different questions. Two different people asked me different questions. One person said that he already runs a business wherein he makes some money. The business is still not very stable. He's got one or two clients, and he's saying that what else can I do with my time so that I'm more engaged and I'm not busy at all. And then somebody else I know texted me and asked that how does that person build more time, because today what this person is doing seems to be doing very well, making money, the kind of money that this person wants to make. But end of the day, she is essentially renting her time to the world. And I said, there are these two questions, while they look very different on the surface, but there is a lot more commonality if you scratch the two questions. And I thought I'll talk about both of them, to both of them individually. But then while walking to Starbucks, I'm at a Starbucks, this idea came to my head wherein I thought, why not do a podcast? I texted all my podcast companions, Anshika. I even spoke to the person, one of my friends, Shruti, and both of them said that they're not around to do the podcast. So I said, why not do a live cast? And this is something that Akash has been pushing me to do for a while. So I said, chalo karte hain, theek hai, dekhi jayegi. So now the question is very simple, and my answer to both of those people is as follows. A, जो current business है उसको पहले stable करो. Now what I mean by that is that today the business is infinitely dependent on you and your time. So if you work today you get money, but if you do not work today you will not get paid. In fact, for the longest time when I was running C4E, till about last year, my thought to myself was that the day I do not work hard, I will not eat that day. And what that meant was that since we were in a project business in a hyper competitive market wherein we wanted to price ourselves at a premium, it was tough sell to the world out there. And that meant that I had to dig a hole every day, dig a well every day to be able to drink from it. And the day I did not do that, I would probably not sleep happy, sleep engaged. I would go to bed knowing that I'm going to be hungry the next day. So both these people that I spoke to yesterday are in this exact same space, wherein if they do not work today, they will not eat tomorrow. So my first lesson to both of them was not lesson, first advice, and obviously general purpose advice to both of them is to build your business to a point wherein it does not need you. And this is exactly the question that this second person asked me, and I will come to that shortly. But the first person, the answer is that do not quit the current business till you reach a point wherein you are no longer required. In fact, this brings me to another advice that I got from another founder friend. The guy runs about a 3,000 crore company, well funded, VC funded, some thousand employees, presence across pan India, household name, big guy. He was talking to me and somebody in my team, and then he asked me, "Is your company processized?" And this was like 6 months ago before I moved on to Meru. And I was proud to say that it is processized because everything we do has a document to it. Everything has a SOP to it. And then he said, "What if instead of you put somebody else to run that process? But if that person goes away, will the company run by itself?" And the answer is no. And even my company, the C4E business as a business, is still not processized to a point wherein the top five people are removed and the company keeps going. So the answer to the first question is that build a business which does not need you or your next line of leaders, and there should be enough SOPs to A, acquire work, B, deliver work, C, do the collections, and D, get more work, keep the flywheel running. So till you reach that point you cannot think about doing anything else, because what will happen is probably in the want of doing the next thing you will probably let go of a great thing that you have in your life. In fact, that's the biggest mistake that I've made in my life, that I've chased multiple things at multiple times. Obviously it has shaped me into who I am, and I'm proud of it and I love it. But that's not an advice that I would give to a lot of other people. If I could actually go back in time and change a few things about myself, this would be probably one of the things. I'm split on this because A, I think that whatever little I have in life today has come to me because I was all over the place and I was able to multiply learnings from various disciplines and build them into one coherent stream of consciousness. And the other side says that if I had dug one place deep, I probably would have become um, a very good person there. I don't know the answer, but to me, it looks like that if you are a young person building a company that has some clients, try to stabilize that company, and whatever else you do, you should build it to that company. The brand of that company should go beyond. That's the first large lesson for person A. Now, segueing into the person B's conversation, the answer is very simple. Today, person B gets work on that person B. So let's say that person is called I don't know, Anshika. Anshika is not the person. Let's use Anshika for placeholder because all my podcasts have Anshika as a default host asking me questions. So in my head right now, also I'm talking to Anshika on the other side of the table. She's not here, but yeah. So what? So imagine the business called Anshika Kushwaha Consults, and today all the work that Anshika gets is on her name. But moment Anshika decides that she wants to quit that business and she doesn't want to do the new business acquisition, new business development, new clients, probably she will not be able to get more clients for the business. So the next lesson, and this is something that I probably did well. When I was building C4E, I was never calling it the Saurabh Garg Collective. I was never calling it Saurabh and C4E. I would only and only call it C4E. In fact, when there were times when I was getting some sort of a validation, some sort of a credit, some sort of a tarif, I would always say that, hey, you know what? It's not Saurabh, it's Saurabh for C4E, and C4E became the larger umbrella under which I would operate and get work. So the lesson to both of these people is that do not build your individual name businesses. Do not build an Anshika Kushwaha Consults. Build a business which has a different identity to it. So call it AK Consults, call it AK for the Vibes Consult, call it something that is not you. While the world could know that the starting point is you, but the the only person that gets work cannot be you. That is one. That's the first thing. Second, I told this second person in a broad stroke that build other people, and what I implied by that is that you need to find people who could be younger, older, peers, whatever. Age is not important here, but people who believe in you as a thought process. Often go back to that line from the movie Sarkar. Sarkar ek soch hai. Sarkar is not really इंडिविजुअल सरकार इज अ विचारधारा है सोच है वो तो बिल्ड योर फिलोसफी बिल्ड योर way of living build your school of life and then get more people to be part of that school get more people to buy into that philosophy this guy often talks about Simon Sinek talks about start with why that is where it is you need to build your why would somebody join Anshika Kushwaha uh, uh, as an individual. Let's say if the business is called AK, why would somebody join Anshul Kushwaha at AK to build that business? In my case, that was a question that I had to ask myself. Why would somebody join a Saurabh or why would somebody join a C4E and why would somebody join a Saurabh for C4E? So it was extremely important for me to put that value system in place for C4E as a business. And then I had to demonstrate those values on a day-to-day basis. The day I don't demonstrate those values is the day I break the loop and the link that I have between that person and myself. And more often you demonstrate these values, more consistent you get, more input you get in terms of people and in terms of folks wanting to be around you, be supporting you. In fact, this also brings me to that point. There is a video by Derek Sivers, TED Talk. It's called How to Spark a Revolution or How to Start a Movement. ऐसा कुछ नाम है उसका. That TED Talk talks about exactly that while he talks about leadership, but I'm saying that it also is true for anything that you want to do. You need to find that first follower. You do not become a leader till you find that first follower, and your idea is to empower that follower into doing whatever they want to do. In fact, I was lucky that at various times in life I got a lot of people to put their faith into me as an individual. They would blindly believe what I told them, and they would blindly go out and do things. And my job then remained to only ensure that my values are translated into them. A and B, once those values were translated, my job was to not touch them, let them do their work. Like, for example, if they made a mistake, my job was not to, tell them कि तुमने गलती किया. My job was to actually tell them that, hey, you did a good job. It's okay. It's a mistake. It's a learning. Like, for example, I remember in my company, somebody lost a couple of lakhs for me for a project. And I told that person, ki, bro, तूने जो 2 lakh रुपए lose किए हैं, that 2 lakh रुपया is like a lesson for you. So think of it as a fees that you paid to a business school to learn the lesson of life from there, and that lesson you will probably never forget because you've spent 2 lakh rupees. While 2 lakh is a tiny number in large scheme of things, but for that individual 2 lakh rupees was like a, I don't know, 3 months salary, and that's why that person was shitting bricks. But point is, you find people, you build people, and you let them do their things. I don't know, use the words empowerment and enable and all of that. मुझे समझ नहीं आता. मुझे ये समझ में आता है कि once you get people, let them do their things. And while they do their things, your job is to do course correction. When I say course correction, let's say aapne kuch, you give them a task, you give them a project, you give them a large thing to work on. If they do not do that in the way you would have done, your job is to go there and tell them that, hey, you know what, I would do it like this, you've done it like this, there is this delta, there is this gap, I would want to bridge this gap tomorrow. Or if the way of their way of working is better, then why not? I mean, you should then adapt, mold, change your thinking to do what they're doing. So essentially, that's what building the people is. I will also give more examples, but whoever is listening, AK, Shruti, I don't know who else is listening. If you have questions, follow up questions, you can type in and try to respond to those questions. But track Karan is trying to make a mind map of the top. So mind map is that two people ask me how to build businesses that are large, how to get distracted. So answer to the first piece is that do not get distracted till you find a way to automate your business, and automation could happen through people and through processes. Even in people, you need to find great people. So that's one layer. Second layer is how do you build people? You build people by finding people who want to who want to live the way you want to live. Like for example, Anshika. Sorry, Anshika, I'm making you the guinea pig here. You're the only one that I can feel safe to abuse on the internet or a live stream. So Anshika wants to live life in a certain manner. She wants to live like a, like a unicorn jumping around the fields and doing whatever she wants to. In her own words, she's a very vibey person. Now, if she puts a team together that is not vibey, if she puts a team together that is not like her, if she puts a team together that does not see, that does not share the same value system as Anshika, probably it will not work out. I mean, it will work out for short run. She will become a taskmaster, but the independence that she seeks in terms of not renting her time would not happen. So you'll have to find those people to believe into your philosophy and then building them. Same चीज को मैंने 12 मिनट तक रैम्बल किया है. Okay, that's tip one. Tip two is that when you do that, you need to be ensuring that those people get what they want. I've spoken about this in earlier सब कहीं पे मैंने बोला हुआ है मतलब मुझे याद आ रहा है मैंने कहीं बोला हुआ है. The entire thought is that each person has a driving motivator or driving emotion. Some people want fame, some people want respect. I want respect for sure. Like if you talk to me with respect, I'm your number one. So you find what is the driving emotion of that individual. It could be fame, it could be respect, it could be money, it could be power. Often it is one of those primal needs of human beings. जो हमारे 5-6 primal needs होते हैं, it is one of those only. You need to be able to talk to that person and understand that person to a point that you know that what is the primal need of that individual. And once you get to that, your job is to ensure that that person gets that from you. So, for example, if there is somebody in my team who wants fame, and there was somebody like that in my team, and I would ensure that at each opportunity wherein I could do some tarif of the person or the team or anything that we do, I would always put that person in the front. कि ये सारा काम मैंने नहीं किया, ये इंसान ने किया, ये सारा काम कंपनी ने किया, ये इंसान ने किया. And that insan was so attached to that fame that it was not funny. Obviously, that insan is no longer with me, but long story short, but I was able to use that insan ka trigger to keep that insan with me for a long time. And now obviously, uh, probably the triggers have changed, probably the relationship has changed, but what has happened is that the time that insan was with me, it allowed me to build more people, because it allowed me to have a structure of sorts, to have more people coming to structure. So coming back to the question of how do you scale, how do you do things where you don't rent your time? A, find more people. B, build more people. And C, give them what they want. The next thing, in the world that we live in, AI-enabled world wherein everything seems to be running very fast and jobs seem to be scarce, you need to be ensuring that what you deliver is extremely good. In fact, that reminds me, I was reading a interview of Brian Johnson yesterday. Brian Johnson is the longevity guru, ninja, whatever you want to call him. He says I don't want to die or whatever. So उसका इंटरव्यू में एक बहुत सी चीज पढ़ी मैंने. आई डो नॉट नो हाउ ही रन दिस कंपनी, बट ही सेड अ ग्रेट थिंग. He said that at my company on day-to-day basis we do three things. One, he said, are we world class at it? Are we amongst the world's best in it? A. B, are we growing? And C, are we compensating well? Let me just find that image, because otherwise it will not be a complete podcast. I don't want to quote a Brian Johnson without knowing what he exactly said. I'm just pulling out my notes to pull that thing up. Mm, yeah, I can't find it. Wait. Let me ask perplexity. Um, Sorry for this, Brian Johnson. Okay, I found the link. I need to find the code. Okay, I'm searching for the word. Okay. Uh, sorry this, but it's extremely important. Uh, 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 Sorry about this. Okay, I got it. He says, and I quote, I will paste it also. He says, we have three goals of the company. The first is goal is that our customers must write us love letters. Brilliant. Second, people should say that it's the best job that they've ever had. And three, they should be best in the industry at what we do. I mean, these three words are extremely important. I'm just going to copy paste it. And this is what Brian Johnson has said. I can't seem to paste a longer chat. But yeah, the point is, that if you need to identify what are the three milestones. ये ब्रांड जॉनसन milestones है. मेरे milestones क्या है? मेरे milestones हैं, are we having fun, are we getting paid well, and are we building our personal brands and expanding our network or life into something else. ये मेरे तीन goals हैं. Articulation can differ from day to day, but at the deeper philosophical level ये तीन ही चीजें हैं जो हम करते हैं, जो हम चेज करते हैं. तो each person I get comes with that philosophy that they want to grow, they want to have fun, and they want to build their lives and networks. And then anybody who doesn't sign up to these three hasn't stayed with me for a long time. And that is something extremely what do you call it? Valuable and useful that I found. कि मेरे तीन चीजें हैं. So advice to all of you is that find your three or four or five things that you believe are true, and then get your people to get whoever comes in has to be able to say that I also want these exact three, four, five things. Often they would want more than three, more than four, more than five, but it's okay. Those three core things cannot change and cannot shift. And obviously, as you go along with time, these things have to grow. So once you articulate this and once you tell the world about it, you will often find the world being kind and the people being open to help you and support you. In fact, मेरे case में, I am probably the best example of the kindness of the world, wherein somebody like me who was fairly average was able to build a good life for myself and the world around me. I mean today, whatever little I have, I've been able to impact lives of at least, I don't know, I mean a lot of people, not a lot, sorry, few people, wherein I have shown them what life could actually mean, and it is not about the drudgery that the world piles upon you. But anyways, rant pe kuch kahe hum log. But broadly, these are the three, four points that I wanted to talk about to both these individuals. Is there any follow-up questions? Please put in chat. I will wait for 30 seconds, and if I don't have any, I will then get out. This is the time when you awkward silence when people wait for answers and comments. Okay, no more answers, no more questions. I just realized because I'm doing this from Starbucks, this music probably is getting captured, and probably the video will get flagged. Let's see what happens to it. Okay, I'm going to end this in five, four, three, two, one. Chalo. Okay, bye. All of you have a good day. Great day. Bye. Take care.